Now, one of the other things, Dr. Davis, I want to talk about the elephant in the room.
All right.
We have been deluged. We have been swamped with this police brutality mindset, this police, these different situations that are happening all across the country. I was telling my daughter, the producer, today, when I got on, I was so grieved this evening. I don't know if I can watch another grieving parent, mother, grieving another Black child. I was in tears today because, you know, this has got to stop somewhere. This has got to stop. And I know that you serve in a leadership position with the task force of Denver that has been given the charge to reimagine policing and public safety. Tell us a little bit about that. What does that entail? What are you guys doing, and what has happened with that?
Okay, so the task force to reimagine policing and public safety is the only task force in the entire nation that is 100% community-led and 100% community organized. I was at a few meetings right after the George Floyd death, and I was talking about, and this was, the mayor was at the Ministerial Alliance meeting. I mentioned to him about reconvening the Use of Force Advisory Committee and looking at public safety as a whole, not just use of force policies. And somewhere within me running my mouth, I ended up being left holding the bag and being responsible for putting together this task force. So I got with a few community organizations, such as the Conflict Center, Interfaith Alliance, Project Voice, and we held a series of town hall meetings, as well as put out a community survey. And we asked two simple questions. What should public safety look like in Denver? And number two, if we put together a task force, what organizations need to be on that task force? And after we did that, we got recommendations for over 40 plus community organizations to be on the task force. We reached out to each of them and they sent representatives. We also invited the Department of Safety and their representatives, City Council and their representatives, as well as the District Attorney, as well as other city agencies. And we began meeting in the month of September, and we met every single Thursday to ask the very simple question: what should public safety look like in the city of Denver, based on the mandate that had been given to us from our community meetings? And so I'm really excited. Unboxed, my organization Unboxed, and me personally, I serve as the lead facilitator and the project coordinator for this initiative. And to see over 40 plus community organizations and over 100 plus individuals come together and really begin to think through what public safety looks like. And what's remarkable about what this one does is that most reimagining organizations or committees or task force, they were either initiated by the mayor of a city, the chief of police, the city council, city manager, or something of that nature. This is the first one, again, that is 100% community-led and 100% community organized. And so it really does bring the community's voice into what type of city do we want, not just policing, but public safety as a whole.
Now, I heard you, and one of my questions is, how did you bring all of these organizations together? And on top of that, how did you get the buy-in from the different political organizations? I heard you mention the mayor's office, the district attorney, the council. I don't know if you had the governor and the Senate and the House of Representatives, state Senate and state House of Representatives involved, but it seems like that you got a buy-in from a lot of important stakeholders. Tell me how you did that.
Well, I'll be honest with you. First of all, this is a community initiative, a community effort. And so when community steps forward and says, we want to really be the think tank and the voice behind what public safety looks like, what policing looks like in Denver, you have to take notice of that. The second thing is we're in a very unique time in our nation's history. Not just here in the city of Denver. And to answer your question about state officials, we did not reach out to state officials because this is specifically addressing issues here in the city of Denver. We're not dealing with other cities and things. Specifically, how do we improve public safety here in Denver? Just why I wanted to make that for that clarification. But we're in a very unique place in our history, and people realize that there's just a cry for change. We saw this with the Derek Chauvin trial. We've seen this with the sustained protest that has taken place. I was just at a protest this past Saturday afternoon at the state capitol. Young people are saying enough is enough, and they want change. So with that groundswell of a demand that says that something needs to be done, it was very difficult. I have to be honest with you, the director of safety, that includes police and sheriff's department, they did pull out when they realized that this actually was a community-led effort, and that they were not going to be able to, control the agenda. They made a decision to pull out. What we have done is we have continued to include them in everything that goes on. So they have an open invitation to return to the table and to, share and to be a part of this process. But even if they choose not to, we have continued to interact and to engage them. So every email that goes out to them. Every meeting, they receive the links to attend the meetings, everything. They are a part of it, so that this is truly a community effort. I want to just take a second and just say I'm really impressed with the engagement that we've received from city council. Every city council member has in one way or another attended the meetings, and they have very demanding schedules, but each one of them sent one of their aides to represent them in their absence. And several of them chose community members from their districts to serve on the task force. They said, you know what, I don't want to just be here or in my aid. I want someone from my district to be on this task force as well. So that kind of gives you an idea of just how passionate this community is about really wanting to see change. So my hat's off to city council, my hat off to the district attorney, Beth McCann, and others who have really, jumped on board and said, we've got to make this thing happen.
Hello, my name is Pastor David Whitmore, and I want to invite you to join us every Thursday evening, 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time for Ask the Pastors. We have a host of pastors available to answer your questions, to take your prayer requests, and just be available for you in these different and difficult times. Join us.